Ah, how the tables have turned on one of the most fun places to play in the NHL. What are the Nashville Predators?
Rebuilding.
Well, they're a playoff team.
Well, yes.
They were a playoff team, were they not?
Yep.
Yes.
And it's big change. Pekka Rinne was their Henrik Lundqvist.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people are going to roll their eyes at that. He was.
Mm-hmm.
He was their late round pick, Vezina conversation goalie who they had forever. That's Lundqvist. Basically, went to the Stanley Cup final, didn't win.
But definitely Lundqvist. There's a lot of comparisons there now that you bring it up. I didn't think about
Scandinavian. Yeah, it's all there. It's all the exact same.
Handsome. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's a very different thing to go from Rinne Saros, and Saros has been there for a while too.
Mm-hmm. Saros should have been nominated for a Vezina last year.
Oh,
like goaltending's a place where I think Nashville's most solid.
So, but it's one of those situations where you still have this guy behind you. And even though he's no longer the starter, he's still been your goaltending partner for like half a decade, right? So is that going to affect UC Saros? Are we going to see that effect in net? Because you're going from Pekka Rinne to Dave Riddick, who, as we saw in Toronto, is not the same.
Sure.
That's a pretty unique cat. He's going to be taking pucks to the head for fun in practice and everything. But assuming UC Saros, he's not a kid, right? Like he's been there in that role for a while. Assuming he is what he was last year, it gives them a fighting chance, but he needs to be that for them to have any chance.
He might look at this scenario as that guy's finally not here, and now the reins are mine. Now I get to drive the car instead of sitting in the passenger and us flipping back and forth.
That's what his paycheck represents.
Right?
He
So
just got his big raise.
I think we've seen enough. I think he's had a solid little run here for like 3 years where it's like, okay, is this finally the year UC Saros does it? And last year where he had his unbelievable run at the end of the season, like I think he's going to take this and try and make the next step.
I find it interesting, Steve, that you said rebuilding, because the only thing, like I look at this roster and not a whole lot has changed, except for this will be the first time since 05-06 that Pekka Rinne doesn't play a game. So that's huge.
You're missing something.
Well, Granlund re-signed.
In my opinion, no, they were the 21st team, tied for 21st in offense with Calgary. And they lost Victor Arvidsson by trading him to the LA Kings. And they lost Calle Jarnkrok to the Seattle Kraken. And you might roll your eyes at that, but he was third on the Preds in scoring.
And they lost Ryan Ellis.
And they lost
Eric
Ellis.
Holla.
Yeah, okay.
Dude, who are this is the thing, right? Like they had a little bit of the Minnesota Wild in them. Mm-hmm. And we just painted them as, no, they're the Preds, they're exciting. No. This team is boring at their core.
Yes.
They've always been a low scoring, they've been a low event team. The one year they went to the Cup final.
Yeah.
Right? The one year they were actually able to score. This team can't score.
And the two bodies they brought in were Cody Glass, who Vegas was happy to let go because he didn't really work out in Vegas.
Hopefully he can score.
And Rittich. Mm-hmm. They didn't bring in any offense. And I was looking forward to talking about Nashville because I wanted to ask you guys this question. And it's about Matt Duchene. And if the Matt Duchene era in Nashville is a failure.
Of course.
Yes.
He had 13 points last year.
Oh.
That's not like I
didn't know it was that bad. How many games did he play?
That's exactly the whole season. That's exactly, you look at that and you say that's not enough.
Oh.
From
Didn't
a guy.
they give up Sam Girard to get him?
Yeah.
What was that Ottawa? Who Sam Girard was he not a Nashville?
Oh, you know what? I think you're right.
And I think Sam Girard played for Nashville.
Ottawa gets so much shit for that trade, but Nashville did not do very
well. It
well.
was 13 points in 34 games. So not quite the whole season, but
still off.
Okay, so even if he played 56 games, that's still 20-something points. That's not an $8 million player. And he's playing with another not $8 million player in Ryan Johansen.
Now, there are going to be mulligan performances. There are going to be guys who do very well this season, and we look at their numbers from last year and we go, oh, it was COVID or something. Like it was just the nature of the season. It was a bad season for a lot of people. You know, Dallas didn't make the playoffs, and I spent the entire Dallas Stars video going, but they're great. You know, so who knows? You know, entire teams are getting mulligans. Maybe Matt Duchene can get one. Listen, I don't think he's worth his contract. I don't know if he's that bad.
Okay.
But the door is wide open for him. No one can score. He has to.
Yeah. And Ryan Johansen, who's never been a real goal scorer, had 7 goals. Like, you're paying, that's $16 million. And I don't have Matt Duchene's goal total here. $16 million, and you get 7 goals from Ryan Johansen and 6 from Matt Duchene.
13 goals.
So it's over $1 million a goal. But I mean, their salary was cut in half last year, obviously, because of the.
That's not good enough. That's
No.
not competitive if they're trying to make the playoffs, and I don't think that's what they're trying to do anymore.
No, there's no scenario where I see them like even threatening to get in.
Okay, so here's the thing then. Okay, we've got their current cap space right now is they've got $10 million. You obviously have to think that the Predators are probably working with an internal cap as well. I don't think they're a cap team right now, and rightfully so. However, with fans returning to the building, we know how much Nashville loves that team. Once the revenue starts going in and the owners feel better about it, this seems like a perfect team to take on bad money and leverage it. Mm-hmm. And they have bad money. They have bad money forever and ever. Amen. Ryan Johansen's deal is not up till 24-25. Duchene is not up till 25-26. But at the deadline, they will have the equivalent of $53 million to take on. They can take on a lot. You can think about a team like what Toronto did, which we had to trade Nick Foligno through somebody else to make the cap situation work. If you're David Poile and you're one of the smartest GMs in the NHL, and he is, you got to be thinking that's what we're going to do.
They should be the other team.
Everybody's other team. I would go into the deadline because I don't know what they're going to be able to sell off. Philip Forsberg, you could.
Well, Philip Forsberg, and you know who else has some value?
Ekholm?
Matthias Ekholm.
Oh, just a little.
Boy, what is this is just last year.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
The damn thing about the Preds is they ended up being okay.
Yeah.
And good enough to squeak into the playoffs. So
lose to the Hurricanes.
No, and they actually did pretty decent against
6
the Hurricanes
games
too. Yeah. And it was 6 games in overtime. But no Forsberg trade, and a lot of us thought that was going to happen, and no Ekholm trade, and a lot of us thought that was going to happen this year, surely. Unless it's hard to write them off because of their legacy. Mm-hmm. Like they do
it's
have
not 2016 anymore.
Yeah, no. Ryan Ellis isn't there anymore.
No, they have winning DNA, despite never actually winning, but they have competitive DNA. But it's just a really hard. They need to get guys to score goals. You know why? Because in the arena, when they do that chant, most nights they're going to be able. They need to be able to go more than one, and that's it.
Yeah. Thank you. Can I have another? Please,
No.
please, Duchene, please.
Yeah,
something. Now, here's another thought.
No, I'm not confusing them with the Blues.
If OEL can move, and that contract can move, can Roman Josi?
Anybody in the National Hockey League is tradable.
Yes. Here's the thing. Roman Yossi's good.
So trade him while he's good. He's 31. He's got his deal goes beyond the 26-27 season. It goes to 27-28.
That is a painful decision to make, and I think if anyone is capable of making it, it's David Poile.
Okay.
That's a painful decision, though.
Okay, so here's the question. Where in the basement do the Predators finish?
They have a goalie, so above the Coyotes. Dave Riddick would be their starter. So I'm gonna say 7th.
Okay.
I have them 7th, right above Arizona.
I could see them finishing higher. Again, they're just annoying. They're really
can you stick to it?
7th.
You need to pick a prediction.
Yeah,
and
you're
make
not.
your
The
damn
thing-
standings.
Line in the sand, please.
10th.
I am going to say the Nashville Predators also finished second to last. And, boy, it's It's what happens to every team that goes to the championship, right? Whether you win or lose, about 3 years later, it's not going to be a good team anymore. Unless you're Chicago somehow. They managed to do it for a decade.
It's Detroit.
Yeah.
Quarter century.
Absolutely.